Everyone in the town of Red Hollow knew the rule growing up. Never fall asleep in room 312 of the old Hawthorne apartments. Most people laughed it off as one of those creepy small-town legends parents told kids to keep them from exploring abandoned buildings. Except the people who remembered Elliot Crane. Back in 1987, Elliot Crane worked as the building's night janitor. Quiet guy. Always wore the same burned leather gloves. Always smelled like chemicals. And children started disappearing. One by one. Always the kids who lived in Hawthorne apartments. Parents searched everywhere. Police searched the woods, the basements, the nearby river. But the children were never found. Then one night, a tenant heard screaming from the boiler room. When police broke down the door, they found Elliot Crane inside, laughing, covered in blood. The boiler exploded during the arrest. Crane burned alive before anyone could get answers. But the children were never found. And for years, nothing happened. Until the dream started. Jason Miller had been living in the Hawthorne apartments for 3 weeks when the nightmares began. The first night was strange. He dreamed he was walking through the building's old hallway. The lights flickered overhead. At the end of the hall stood a tall figure. A man with burned skin. Long metal claws attached to his glove. The man slowly scraped the claws against the wall. Jason woke up sweating. Just a nightmare, he muttered. But the next night, the dream continued. Same hallway. Same flickering lights. This time the man was closer. Jason could smell burned flesh. The man tilted his head and whispered in a dry, cracking voice. New tenant. Jason woke up again. Except this time. There were 4 thin scratches on his arm. Jason told his friends the next day. Maya and Chris lived in the building too. Dude, that's the Crane legend, Chris said nervously. People used to say if you slept in the building too long, he'd start showing up in your dreams. Maya rolled her eyes. That's urban legend crap. Jason lifted his sleeve. The scratches were deeper now. None of them laughed after that. The dreams got worse. Each night, Elliot Crane got closer. Night 1, the end of the hallway. Night 2, halfway down. Night 3. Crane stood right in front of him. His melted face twisted into a smile. Sleep deeper, the claws rose slowly. Jason woke up screaming. This time his chest had 4 bloody cuts. Exactly where Crane had slashed him in the dream. Jason stopped sleeping. 3 days. 4 days. 5 days. Coffee. Energy drinks. Ice water in his face. Anything to stay awake. But exhaustion was winning. One night while sitting on the couch with Maya and Chris, his eyes finally closed. Just for a second. And suddenly, he was back in the hallway. But this time it wasn't empty. The walls were covered in scratch marks. Children's handprints smeared in dark stains. And Elliot Crane stood behind him. Much closer than before. Crane leaned down beside Jason's ear. You can't stay awake forever. The claws slowly slid out. Jason tried to wake up. He couldn't move. Crane, your friends can't save you either. Behind Jason, Maya and Chris suddenly appeared in the dream hallway. They looked terrified. Jason, what is this place? Crane's smile widened. You brought them with you. The claws rose. More sleepers. The next morning, police arrived at Hawthorne Apartments. 3 bodies were found in Jason's apartment. All of them lying peacefully like they had fallen asleep. But their chests were shredded open by 4 deep claw marks. and carved into the bedroom wall were the words, "Room 312 is open again." That night, a new tenant moved into Hawthorne Apartments. A young college student. Exhausted from unpacking, he collapsed into bed. Within minutes, he fell asleep. And in his dream, he stepped into a long flickering hallway. Somewhere in the darkness, metal claws slowly scraped against the wall. A burned voice whispered from behind him, "Welcome home."